You know those days when you're completely booked, calls, check-ins, approvals, unexpected fires. And by the end of it, you collapse into the couch wondering, what on earth did I actually get done today? You're busy, you are productive, you are everywhere, but nothing moved. And here's what I want to say coming right out of the gate. Complexity is the enemy of profitability. I'm Carol Surbey, and this is the CEO Shift Show. If you're new here, welcome. And if you've been with me throughout May, you know that we've been digging deep, shifting the way you think about money, profits, delegation, financial visibility, and CEO level decision making. This episode here is the capstone, because all the revenue in the world, that means nothing if it's all wrapped in chaos. So let's start to untangle that. Complexity is the enemy of profitability. Because you can't see the cost, it's stacking up. And it's not just a money leaking out of your business, it's clarity leaking out of your leadership, it's confidence leaking out of your team, it's your energy, your peace, and your momentum. Gone. So today we're going to do something a little bold. We're going to close out our month-long focus on financial transformation by talking about something that doesn't live in QuickBooks or on our P&L. We're talking about operational clutter and how, when you clean it up with courage, you multiply your margins fast. Let's step back and zoom out for a minute. We're taught to think about costs in binary terms. What we spend, what we earned. But the most damaging costs, they're the ones that you don't see on your balance sheet. So let me paint you the picture. A client I have, I'll call him Nathan, had just crossed $1 million in revenue. He really should have been celebrating. But instead, he was working 70 hours a week. He couldn't take a full day off and felt resentment towards the team that he had handpicked. And when we started our coaching, he said something that I'm never going to forget. It feels like we've built a machine that only runs if I keep pedaling. That hit me. Because that's not a business. That's an expensive, exhausting job with a pretty logo. So we did what most people avoid. We ran a profit leak assessment, but not just financially, operationally. We tracked his time spent per project. We tracked duplicate approval loops. We tracked missed handoffs. And we tracked every quick check-in that actually consumed 20 minutes. And you want to know that number? It was $82,000 in opportunity cost in one quarter. Not lost clients, not marketing fails, just unnecessary clutter. He didn't need a new sales strategy. He needed a system that worked without him. So let's get real and figure out what this clutter actually looks like. So it's not always mess. Sometimes it's actually disguised as helpful. It looks like you attending team meetings that someone else could run. It looks like you tweaking the Canva file because the formatting's off. And it looks like you answering questions that your SOP should have covered. It really comes down to death by 1,000 paper cuts. And it's eating into your capacity, your cash flow, and your clarity. And we have to stop normalizing it. Let's shift some gears here, Because this isn't just a warning bell, it's actually an invitation. Simplicity isn't just some nice vibe. It's one of the most powerful financial strategies in your CEO toolbox. So let's reframe how we might think about simplicity. Simplicity is not stripping everything down to the bone. It's not refusing growth, and it's not decluttering for aesthetic purposes. What simplicity is getting really hyper clear on what actually drives value, getting super clear on making decisions that protect profit and peace, and building from what's repeatable, not just what's possible. Simplicity is about creating the repeatable flow. When something's working smoothly every time with the least amount of effort, that is a profitable system. Here's an example from my own coaching business. I used to onboard every client personally. Manual invoices, intro emails, orientation calls, and I told myself it was part of that high-touch experience. But let's be honest, it was control, and it was costing me 3 to 4 hours per client. Multiply that over a year, and I lost an entire month on tasks that I could have delegated for $20 an hour. So I built a flow. Triggered invoice, auto-generated welcome packet, schedule orientation with my assistant. Still high touch, still personal, but now scalable, stress-free, and most importantly, profitable. That's the power of simplifying what you repeat. Let's talk a little bit about your time and your calendar. Because your time habits will always tell the truth about your system. If you've got a full calendar but low profit, that's a system failure. If you're in reactive mode more than you're in proactive mode, that's not a hustle issue. That's an architecture issue. Your calendar should feel like a rhythm, not a riot. And that's exactly why inside the Scalable CEO Academy, we're teaching time leverage and operational rhythms all of June. It isn't just time blocking, it's about building a business that protects your time at a structured level. You're going to learn how to anchor your weekly CEO rhythm, how to delegate your calendar, not just your tasks, and create control and margin so that you can actually think. Because when you get your calendar under control, here's what actually starts to happen. You stop making reactive decisions that cost you money. You get focused on what actually drives the ROI, and you really do start to show up differently. A calm, clear leader is not a frantic operator. I had a client once tell me, for the first time in years, I'm not afraid to open my calendar on Monday morning. That's the shift that I want for you. I want to say this gently because, quite honestly, I've lived it. When we become emotionally fused with our business, especially when we've bootstrapped, and especially when we've built something from scratch, the late nights, the choices no one saw, the risks. When I say let it go, I feel like I'm asking you to step away from your identity. But I want you to hear me. You are not your inbox. You are not your calendar. You are not your task list. You are the visionary, the steward, and the strategist. If you want this business to last, to pay you, to support your life, and create impact, then you have to stop trying to hold it all and start building something that can actually hold you. All right, CEO, this is what I want you to do this week. I want you to open your calendar for the last 2 weeks. Highlight every task, meeting, or fire that shouldn't be your responsibility. Pick one and actually fix the system around it. Don't just delete. Use the 3D framework. Decide, document, delegate. It's simple and powerful. And when you actually use it, it starts to change your life. So let's talk about what's coming up next. We here at the CEO Shift Show have a lot coming up. May 28th, the Academy has their mastermind and networking call. Bring your questions, bring your chaos. We're going to help you sort it out live. And this is where the best coaching happens, side by side with people on the same path. In June, we have a masterclass coming up, the Time Freedom Reset. Scale your business without sacrificing your sanity. It's free, it's powerful, and it's your blueprint for leading with clarity again. That's on June 13th. And inside the Academy, the June themes are around time leverage and operational rhythms. So we're going to be looking at building a weekly CEO operating rhythm, to install a scalable time system, and to prepare your business for execution this summer, not burnout. So don't forget to grab your CEO time leverage blueprint at carolsurbey.com/academy. You're building a business. Make sure it's the one you actually want to keep. Here's your reminder that your business is a tool, not a trap, not a performance piece, not a runaway train. Use it to support your life, to protect your peace, and to create the margin that you need to lead. Until next week, stay focused, stay simplified, stay in your power.